So this is my opportunity to welcome Marianne Haller. I have worked with her for the last year. She's an amazing person, very dedicated, very professional, and a great friend. It's been a pleasure and an honor to work with her, and I look forward to working with her in the future. And I'd like to introduce you to our new president, Marianne Haller.
Is that cute or what? Well, first of all, I want to thank Riette because having worked with her for a year at the executive committee has been truly an honor and a pleasure, and I've learned so much. And I want you to know that the process we have of having the president-elect be the president in training, I call it, for a year really works well because there's so much you have to learn and so much involved. And Riette, you've been an incredible teacher, and I truly thank you. Once, not in my lifetime, not in your lifetime, but in somebody's lifetime, there was a galactic traveler who arrived at the Milky Way amusement park, which took up 3 planets and a moon. The main water attraction at this amusement park was based loosely on a hymn that was well known on planet Earth, but not well heeded there. Yet in the rest of the galaxies, this hymn had become the galactic anthem. It was renowned. The ride was called Enlightenment Way and was said to be a 1,000-mile-long river that took some people years to travel. Others, if they did it correctly, could do it in a day. Our traveler had prepared for this journey, and she was ready. As she approached the start of the ride, she was given instructions on how to maneuver the boat. She was given some supplies, a seatbelt, and a note to put in her pocket in case of emergency. The boat was pushed off, and she realized right away that the stream and the river was going much faster, and it was much more difficult to maneuver than she thought. She had difficulty rowing in a straight line, but after practicing and going for a while, she got the hang of it, and she was able to row down the river. She rowed and she rowed. She passed fields. She passed a city in the distance, and then came to a town. As she rowed on, there was a building built very close to the river's edge, and she could see people walking about. And as she came closer, there was a window she could look into. And in that window, she saw the most amazing shoes she had ever seen. These shoes, you know what I'm talking about. These shoes were of amazing colors and styles. The heels were this high. The window next to that had clothes, dresses, and suits for men, and coats and jackets. The next window had gems and pearls, and then there was a window with all sorts of electronic gadgetry. Oh, the allure of this finery was truly intense. But she resisted, and she kept rowing down the river. She rowed and rowed, and she realized she'd have to pace herself because this was truly hard work. So she rowed on, and then she started to see some houses, and then some more houses, and then there were houses right by the river, and she saw children playing on the lawn and splashing in the pools, and people cooking outside, and it smelled so good. And there was a magnificent house with the doors all open and people walking in and out, and she saw a sign that said, "For sale, open house." She could go in. She could go in and see how the people on earth lived in these magnificent homes. Oh, she wanted to go there so much, and she resisted. She kept rowing down the river. So she rowed, and her shoulders were getting sore, and her hands were getting blisters, and all of a sudden she got chills, and the wind picked up, and it started to rain. And she looked up, there were these dark clouds overhead, and it started to rain really hard, and the boat was being knocked about, and the river was churning, and she said, I better row to shore and get out of this boat, when there was a loud thunder crash, and then lightning hit the ground right where she was going to walk. Whoop! She backed off, rowed back into the middle of the river, and just kept rowing. She rowed right through that storm. And surely enough, after a time, the storm abated, the wind died down, the clouds drifted away, and the sun came out. She was very proud of herself for having weathered that storm. So she rowed on. By this time, she was getting kind of tired, so she learned to drift on the river for a while and take a break, and then go back to rowing. And she did this for a while, and then in the distance, she saw some rolling green hills like she had never seen before. They were magnificent. They were brilliant green and manicured perfectly, and there were little ponds. And there were people walking about, and some of them were driving in little cars. And then she saw some people with very skinny sticks, and they swung the stick, and this little white ball went flying through the air and landed on what must have been carpet, because she'd never seen lawn that manicured before. The people went there, and they knocked the ball this way, and then they knocked the ball that way, and then they knocked the ball that, and it disappeared. And she understood. The people were joyous and walked on, but she understood. She got it that the point of this game was to get this ball from all the way over here into this little tiny hole over here. This was truly a confounding game played in the most magnificent of landscapes. Oh, she was captivated. She was enthralled. She was mesmerized. She realized that this was the purpose of her journey. This is why she had come all this way. She needed to get to land and learn how to play this game and dedicate her life to this. But as she approached the shore, the riverbank was very high and covered with roots and shrubs and bushes, and she couldn't get out. So she went on a bit, and it turned into marsh, and then it turned into a swamp. She couldn't get out. This was horrible. She saw the hills in the distance, and she had to get there. So she reached into her pocket and pulled out the piece of paper, for surely this was an emergency. And she opened the piece of paper, and it said, "Sing the anthem." So she took a deep breath. She raised her head up high, and she sang, and, well, you are all from Earth. You might know this anthem, for she sang this way. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. So I wish for all of you smooth waters as you go down the river and follow your dream. And I thank you sincerely for trusting me to steer our collective boat called RAM for this next year. And I ask for your support and your guidance so that we can all row together and follow our collective dream.